Okay, so um, that last video I posted, which was a speed run um, for an all assassin team. Well, this week we couldn't do all assassins because of the headshot objective, but hopefully next week we don't really know what the next map is going to be. It should have been Shores of Vengeance a while back, but I don't know if you remember. They've repeated Blood in the Snow in Aoi Village a couple times, and now we got finally Shadows of War. So anyway, the last PR that we got, I think, was for yeah, it was Shadows of War still. Anyway, some people were asking about the build, so here is the build, which is a little bit different than the other one that I had posted, which is my regular build for everything else. Um, if I'm not speedrunning, I actually like that other build a lot more. Um, it's just more dynamic, but this one is all about um, speed. So yeah, um, and it's about maximizing damage output in a more efficient manner. So let's see. So we start with melee damage, Oni damage with the flame, and Wind Master for the katana. Um, yeah, pretty basic stuff. Then the bomb pack, which honestly I don't really think that I need forbidden medicine because the technique that I'm using the refreshing vanish. So I find that with the with the strategy for this particular build, you're always kind of just dealing out ranged attacks, and you're not really engaging a lot in close quarters combat. So there's not really a lot of risk of you getting, um, you know, a lot of damage. But yeah, I was trying it out just to have like um, a readily available source of healing in case I needed it, especially because of Anjos, because this is where the additional damage comes from. This 15% bonus damage when at full health. Um, so you kind of do need to be able to heal yourself fast in case, because you're wanting to deal out that 15% damage additional as much as you can. Um, Sticky Bomb, this one's different as well. I switched to Ghost Weapon damage, and the reason for that is because Black Powder Bombs are still considered ghost weapons, whereas Concussion Bombs no longer are affected by Ghost Weapon damage. But that makes your Black Powder Bombs just a little bit more powerful, and like I said, this is all about efficiency. So just trying to maximize. I used to run with the status effect duration sticky bomb. It's basically the same properties, everything else except for that. But I switched to this for just to get a little bit more damage, and also it makes the sticky itself more powerful. So that's the reason for that. The smoke bomb is the same that I had before. I don't really. I guess I could put another one that had just all cooldown reduction because I don't really do a lot of assassinations. Um, at all, which has been a little bit difficult for me to let go of as an assassin, but you just got to get in the mindset of you're going for speed, and there's really not a lot of time to be assassinating people. Um, you're just wanting to get rid of any enemies as fast as you possibly can, so um, I might switch to that. I was just kind of hanging on to this little bit of stealth attack damage in case I did need to assassinate someone occasionally, but I found that it doesn't really happen too much. I might actually switch just based upon my messing around with this build for speedrun purposes. I noticed that yeah, like I said, I don't really need Forbidden Medicine, so I probably will go back to Mesmunes just for additional damage. And then I'm debating whether or not I'm gonna go back to the 5-hit ult. I was running Overshadowed for the purposes of just being able to get out of my ult fast enough. And there's usually not a lot of people standing. As you can see, I'm gonna post a video of the last speed run, which is where we're gonna end the week at. Um, with this, well, 3 assassin 100 team. Um, but yeah, I don't. I mean, I do like the 5-hit ult just for the purpose of sometimes you get a straggler that will make it all the way to the defense area, and so just for the purpose of traversing faster because it lasts longer. I think it's 14 seconds that you have your ult versus 6 or 7 seconds that you have the 3-hit ult. So it does make a difference when it comes to trying to get to that straggler faster uh, when it does happen, and just being able to save that, those few seconds that make a big difference in the end, because that's what it's all about during speed runs. Um, but yeah, so probably will go back to 5-hit ult, and yeah. Um, One thing that I wanted to mention about this build is, well, I'll go back to the actual build that I had for this video or the last couple of speedrun videos that I made. Uh, it's the way that Oni damage impacts this build and your overall damage output. I know a lot of people, myself included, like to stack ultimate damage, which is great. But for the purpose of this objective, which is try to get done as fast as possible, you'll realize that ultimate damage, which also counts as melee damage, is something that you don't really use that often. Most of the time you're just using bombs to clear waves, be it your sticky bombs or your um, bomb pack, and you're just kind of finishing up enemies with your ult. But for the most part, you want something that is damage across all um, levels of damage, and ultimate damage obviously only applies to melee damage. So only when you're using your katana is when ultimate damage actually kicks in. The rest of the time you're not really using that. So you want Oni damage, even though it seems like it's less because it's 10%, or in this case it's 20%. But what's good about Oni damage is, for one, that's the main type of enemy that you're going to see on Nightmare Survival, or at least the the more um, significant type of enemy, because they're usually stronger than the Mongols, and then they require a lot of whittling down. So for this purpose, Oni damage applies across all types of damage. So be it melee damage, um, ranged, ghost weapon, whatever, it all falls into that category of just in general Oni damage. And so that's one of the reasons that a lot of people use that and like to stack that. Um, and then for this, obviously, fire damage is the next best thing because it also applies across all types of damage that come from fire. So status effect duration, status effect damage, um, it all is considered to be fire damage. So this is an increase of um, 37%. The resolve increase is really, there's really not a lot you can choose on the second slot. Um, wouldn't choose combat region, legion parry, health increase, maybe super armor. You definitely don't want, and impactful throws. Can't even say that I've used that ever. Um, But yeah, so resolve increase is probably the only one that's kind of worthwhile because it does give you that one resolve. If you're needing to use your old back to back, you just use the old build to resolve and then use it again. So it makes it a little bit faster in case you do need to make use of that resolve. But honestly, resolve increase might be more of a thing for builds that have stuff like Stone Striker or Heavenly Strike, which you can also get through the techniques with the Samurai or the Heavenly Rebuke charm. So, because that one costs one resolve, and there's some builds that make use of resolve and they don't make use of ult for that additional damage that comes from Heavenly Strike. So for this one, I don't think that I've used it too much, but it's really the best thing for the options given. So yeah, um, status effect damage also procs with or stacks with fire damage. So that's another increase right there, 18%. Again, you want to have blast radius on both the sticky and the bomb pack itself because that'll make the blast radius 50% bigger on the bomb pack and 100% bigger on the sticky because of that increased radius property or perk. Um, and if you can get a bunch of enemies at the same time, that gives you a lot of resolve. So it's just something to think about just when you're trying to maximize your damage output. Uh, and like I had said before, techniques is refreshing vanish, which is a pretty significant heal. Double legendary, I always have a hard time letting go of critical hit because I like it so much. But like I said, there's not a lot of time. If you're doing a bunch of assassinations or like poisoning or whatever on Nightmare, you're really not trying to go for speed. There's possible to do a lot of damage, and of course you can always, come up with a build where you can solo point or just hold off enemies if everyone else is far away, and then you just kind of need to be able to handle a wave on your own. That's great, but as far as speed, you do need to prioritize damage output. So that's what I'm trying to do here. Like I said, this is what I was running with for that one video, and then the one that I'm about to post as well. So double legendary, refresh and vanish. Um, Experienced assassin, just because this should just be baseline for assassin. I feel like if anything, the tech could have been or like faster critical hits. And then experienced assassin should just be the baseline. But yeah, some people I guess like the animations, which I like them in principle. I just don't like that they take so long. Um, that's pretty much it. Like I said, you kind of rely on Angos to give you that additional boost of 15% while at full health. And I'm probably gonna ditch the forbidden medicine because I found that I don't really use it that much, and just switch to Mass Muniz for a little bit of additional damage. That's yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the build. Let me know what you guys think, and I hope you guys, if you want to give this a go and then you got some pretty good results, just let me know. Post a video, whatever you need to do. I am always happy to check out videos like that. Anyway, thanks a lot, you guys, and I'll see you next time.